So the last few days have been really tough for the nation of Israel. We witnessed tremendous pain and suffering. With the advent of social media, with what's happening in the world, we can actually see and feel and live together with the 45 families who have lost their loved ones. Shocking, shocking, shocking. So the question is, why did God cause the tragedy in Meron to happen? So, first thing is, we may live far from Israel, but the pain and suffering of these families is our pain and suffering. What they experience is our experience, and it makes no difference if we are religious, not religious, Haredi, Vishnitz, Babov, modern Orthodox, or Litvish. The pain and suffering that these 45 precious families feel is our pain and suffering. So, first of all, what does God have to do with it? Why is this anything to do with God? The question is, why did God cause the tragedy in Meron to happen? It was an accident. So first of all, there's no such a thing as accident in Judaism. The word accident does not exist. There's no such thing as an accident. The Baal Shem Tov writes that if a leaf falls from the tree in a certain spot, that is orchestrated by God. There's no such a thing as an accident. That leaf meant to fall in a specific place because that has to do with the divine plan of creation. It says that if you live in a certain place, that is divinely orchestrated. You may think you chose to live in a certain place. It is all from God. So the fact that there were hundreds of 100,000 Jews dancing in a confined space, that's not the reason this happened. The reason is God. All to do with God. That's number one. But why? Why did this happen? We see so much pain and suffering. I watch videos of the Shiva, of the Hatzalah volunteers going back to the place in Iran. You can actually go visit the families as they sit Shiva, as they mourn for their children. No father should ever have to eulogize his child at a funeral. So much pain, so much loss, so much suffering. And especially when you look at Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer in the Kabbalistic world is one of the most joyous holidays there is. By the way, celebrated universally amongst religious and non-religious Jews. But Lag BaOmer, the Lubavitcher Rebbe writes in Hayom Yom that people used to wait a whole year for Lag BaOmer because on Lag BaOmer they watched miracles take place. We know just this past Shabbat I told my kids stories of Lag BaOmer at Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai's grave where miracles of resurrection of the dead take place. And at the holiest place at Meron, on Lag BaOmer, while they are dancing in the fire, this terrible tragedy takes place. It's unfathomable. So the answer is like this. It says when Moses was wanting to take the Jews out of Egypt, it says he came to God and he said, when I come to the Jewish people and I tell them that God has told me to take you out of Egypt, they're going to say, V'amruli mashmo. What is his name? What is God's name? What do the Jews mean? What's his conduct? What kind of conduct is this? How does God allow us to suffer pain for 210 years? How does he allow Pharaoh to throw our children to the Nile River? How does he allow Pharaoh to whip us and enslave us and kill us and torture us? And what does God answer? The eternal answer. He says, Eheye asher eheye. Tell the Jews my name is Eheye. What that means is like this. Do not think for one moment that I am vacationing on cloud nine, that I'm in Mexico, in the Bahamas somewhere enjoying myself while my beloved children suffer. Inta begaluta imo anochi begaluta. I am with you. I am with you in that pain. I feel your pain. I feel your suffering. Every tear that is shed, I shed that tear as well. Every single time there's a family, one of these precious, beloved, beautiful 45 families sitting Shiva, I am sitting Shiva with them. Every tear they shed, I shed it as well. Every pain in their heart that they feel for their loss of their loved one, I feel as well. Why did it have to happen? Your mind cannot understand. There's nothing you can do that will ever explain to you why until Mashiach comes. When Mashiach comes, we'll be able to see the big puzzle, the big picture. But until then, all you need to know is that I am with you. I feel your pain. Eheyeh, that is my name. Eheyeh, Asher Eheyeh. In fact, this week we actually read the Tochacha. The Tochacha is the curses. We actually read the curses in this week's parasha. The curses are the curses are this week's parasha Bechukotayim, where God says, if you don't do this, don't do that, I'll do all these curses. As a father who loves us so much, we know that God will never cause us pain and suffering. All these curses are really deep, 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 deep inside of them are hidden blessings. That is what they truly are, deep, deep, deep inside of them. Just we cannot see it. We hope and pray for the time where God will send us Mashiach, where he will end Umacha Hashem Elokim Kol Dim'ah. God will end all tears. All the tears will be dried up. There will be no more pain, no more loss, no more suffering. But until that time, we know that God is with us. He feels our pain. He loves us as if we are his only children. And why did it happen? We have no idea. We have no comprehension. It's beyond, it defies every piece of logic that we possibly understand. In fact, we know the Talmud says, Shluchei mitzvah einan nizokim. When you're doing a mitzvah, you will never be harmed. What more of a mitzvah is it than dancing at Rashbi on Lag BaOmer? And yet they died. We don't know. But we hope and pray that Mashiach will come, end this exile, end this suffering, end our pain. And in the meantime, we know that we are all brothers, we are all sisters, we are all united, we are all one family. Their pain is our pain, their suffering is our suffering. Have a wonderful